Clean water doesn't just happen.
It's an around-the-clock operation.
A responsibility.
A commitment.
A privilege.
Clean water is NACWA.
It's shared information.
And valuable analysis.
Consistent collaboration.
And non-stop advocacy.
NACWA is, in many ways, the heart and soul of a true clean water community.
There are our voice, our ears, our eyes.
In the last 20 years, we're far more proactive. We're dealing with issues aggressively.
I think it's important for those of us in the United States that aren't always in Washington to have an advocate here on our behalf.
Every single day there are discussions and there are decisions being made that has enormous consequence to the manner in which we implement the facilities that we run.
Things are different today. The regulations are different. The interpretation of those regulations are different. Our technology is extremely different.
We need somebody here in Washington to monitor and understand what the rules and laws are that are being established here that will affect every water and sewer utility in the United States.
NACWA as an organization is very well respected with EPA, with the members of Congress, and with many state regulatory agencies.
We can help shape the future regulations that ultimately are going to impact public utilities going forward.
We are the real environmentalists. We're the folks that are out there doing the work.
The ability to participate with NACWA makes me feel like I'm having a real impact on the national scene. That's been really exciting for me.
You have, as a public utility, a resource that can really help you shape your approach, shape your arguments.
NACWA gives me a heads up, and that gives me a head start. I can start preparing my utility, my city organization, our elected officials with what's coming.
You'll have access to the resources that are available to large agencies and large cities. Regardless of what size you are, regardless how big or small an agency you are, in NACWA you're all one.
One of the critical pieces that I think NACWA provides is the information clean water utilities need to be able to plan, do long-term planning effectively.
They collect information on rates and charges, fees. Then we all can look at that and say, okay, we're in line with this or for a state or region across the country.
I've learned a lot from being at NACWA meetings, but also getting up-to-date information through the communications, through the emails, through the website.
NACWA is
Being proactive instead of reactive.
Crafting smart legislation based on valid science.
And pursuing clean, green policies instead of standing still.
NACWA's taking the lead, as far as I'm concerned, in the United States on a number of issues.
We've kind of been focused on just the chemical part for the last 40 years. And so now we're starting to look at, the physical parts, biological parts of what we need to be doing.
Currently, NACWA is very involved in what happens on these permits governing rainwater flowing into separate storm sewers. 10, 15 years ago, the big issue was when there's combined sewers. We needed a strong national policy about how we were going to implement a response to that problem, which is billions of dollars potentially in each jurisdiction. And it was NACWA that stepped up in the 90s.
And now we're moving more into resource recovery. We're recovering water, we're recovering our biosolids, we're recovering nutrients, and methane gas and energy. So it's a whole shift in a mindset that's occurred.
We have to find solutions that work in the real world, and that's going to require collaboration with agriculture and stormwater agencies, and I think NACWA is the perfect forum to have those broad stakeholder discussions.
If we can take a more sustainable green approach, we have the opportunity to revitalize our neighborhoods.
Clean Water Act was great over the last 40 years and it made a lot of progress under it. But now is the time to really think outside just looking at clean water. How do we bring in air sources and deal with it more on a watershed basis to solve those larger issues?
The vitality of human life is going to rely in the future on our assets.
We all have the same care, the same passion for clean water, for public service, for doing the best.
I have 2 children, and I want them to grow up in a world that has clean water, and I believe NACWA helps me be more effective in that role.
So you have meaning, you have content, and you have outcomes. And you put those 3 together, and that's a winning team that I want to be part of.
NACWA is
each of us individually
Realizing the power of many.
Speaking with one voice.
to ensure affordable solutions.
with the greatest environmental benefit.
All for the communities we proudly serve.
Clean water begins with me.
Me.
With me.
Me.
With me.
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 Clean water begins with NACWA.